Slightly over a week ago, on the evening of the 24th of August, I participated in a meeting of Black Catholics together with our Bishop, Bishop Douglas Lucia. The meeting was organized by Father Fred Daly and was held here in All Saints. And we sat in a circle, socially distanced, which extended all the way from the sanctuary up to the second pew. And we were about 27 or 30 of us. And each of us took time to speak. What did we speak about? We shared our experience of being Black and Catholic in America. Those 2 hours, for me, were faith uplifting. It is one of those events that I have felt that it deepened my faith, because it actually ended up being a faith-sharing session. It was the first time I heard first-hand accounts of my fellow Catholics who are of the same race as me speak about their faith here in North America. Yes, indeed, God was present in our midst. There were some painful moments, but also humorous incidents as well. There were lights and shadows. There were moments of joy, and there were moments of hope. Quite a number said that whenever they told their friends that they were Catholic, it was shocking, because for some reason, being Black and Catholic here in the North is considered an anomaly. And this is something which I have witnessed. Most of the congregations that I have ministered to, here in Syracuse, in Boston, Massachusetts, were entirely congregations of Caucasians. And even I recall the parish where I ministered for many years in the north of Boston. At a farewell reception, some family came up to me and they said, you know, we are grateful that you were our pastor, because you are the first Black person we have got to know, who we have come close to, and believe it or not, you are the first Black person that our children have shaken hands with. Several in that meeting acknowledged the role played by their spouses in leading them to Catholicism. And some of these were former members of the Baptist faith, or they were Methodists, demonstrating the good or the transformative effect that happens when we are deeply in love with someone. But then some of the shadows that were shared was in relation to when they were searching for a spiritual home. It was painful to hear again and again the lack of welcome and the lack of hospitality in parishes around the country, and even here in Syracuse. And even I remember one incident which was very moving. One said that when they were on the communion line and they came up to the priest the priest stopped and asked her, "Are you a Catholic? Do you receive communion?" Which is very, very embarrassing. Not to forget that Pope Francis has again and again said, "Let us not use Holy Communion as a weapon." God in Jesus Christ came in our midst. God in Jesus Christ entered our mess. So let us not discriminate others using the sacraments. This painful moment for these members of Black Catholic community remind us of the bigger picture, the bigger story that we are struggling with in the United States at this moment. And in terms of hospitality, the community that gathered on that Monday night said that the places where they found hospitality were the former Our Lady of Solace, which is now merged together, which is now part of All Saints. And indeed, they said this is where they feel home. This is where they feel welcomed. And I recall the remarks that the bishop made at the end. The bishop said he would like what is happening in this parish to be replicated across the diocese and across the country, because this is the one place that many people call home, regardless of their skin color, regardless of who they love, regardless of their gender, regardless of their immigration status. This is where they find home. This is where they have encountered Catholicism. The experience of Black Catholics is part of the national story. The national story that we are grappling with in connection with racial justice and systemic racism. I am saying this, or I'm bringing this up, not to make our white brothers and sisters feel guilty. I am bringing this up in connection with today's gospel selection, which gives us a way of addressing the wrong that is done to us. And Jesus gives out several stages. If your sister or brother wrongs you, go tell them. If they do not hear, bring 2 or 3 with you. And if they will not listen to the witness that is given by the other 2 or 3, tell the community, tell the church. And so I am recounting this event of this meeting as a way of communicating to the community the experience of those of us who are Black and Catholic. In the letter to the Romans, we are told that what we owe each other is love. And love is the fulfillment of the law. And that is as if it is the minimum. At this stage, the Black community is not asking for reparations or restitution, but that which we owe each other as Christians. Whether one is a Catholic, whether one is an evangelical, whether one is an Episcopalian, that which we owe each other is love. But there should not be double standards or heavy-handedness in dealing with each other. Last weekend, we again witnessed the painful shooting Kenosha, Wisconsin. And notice the contrast. One was shot 7 times in the back, at point-blank range, and right now is in the hospital, struggling for survival. And we pray and hope that Jacob Blake will regain his life. Yet notice the contrast. There was another young teenager who came wielding a rifle under the guise of protecting the businesses, shot 3 people, killed 2. Yet he is now sitting in jail. He has not been bodily harmed. And on the contrary, there have been allusions to as if he did what was good. Here there are double standards. And so, my brothers and sisters, on this weekend in which we pray for laborers, this final weekend as we prepare to return to work, and we hope we will find work. On this Labor Day weekend, let us be attentive to the gospel injunction, which invites us to agree on what to pray. And if you agree on what you are going to pray on, God will grant. So let us agree to pray for healing and transformation of our race relations. That all Catholic worship spaces may be home for all the children of God. Praise be Jesus Christ. I also express my gratitude for the invitation and hospitality that I have received from this community. And indeed, what you do here is a special sacrament. The sacrament is a sign of God's work and God's presence in our midst. And what you do, your ministry of welcoming, your ministry of hospitality, that makes everyone feel at home, regardless of their skin color, regardless of who they love, regardless of how they worship. That is what Catholicism is about. At this table, there is space for everyone. And so for making this home, I am grateful for the hospitality and friendship that I have received here. This is indeed a sign of what Catholicism should be. It's a special sign not only in this diocese, but it's a sign to the Catholic world in